Fellas, happy Friday. Chuck Silver and Jayhawk here to bring you some DFS advice for DraftKings and FanDuel. MLB started. Obviously, our boy Smitty shipped on opening day. Why wouldn't he? Using the new and improved lineup builder at Occupy. It's been pretty good. Recommend checking it out. Jayhawk, on to today's NBA slate. They did cut off the last three games, the night games, so we do have that Denver-Utah game as the I don't know what we want, the late night hammer, I guess. How do we feel about today's slate?
Yeah, man, it looks like a pretty fun one. Like you mentioned, not a ton of injury news, so we'll touch through all of it. But yeah, pretty fun slate.
Ben, Heath, HB, our own Nick Morrow, Jose, Luke. Happy to see you guys in the chat earlier. Our boy Unicorn, second place on FanDuel last night, dude. Congratulations. Who was on stream yesterday? Was it you and Nick?
Yeah, Nick and I.
Dude, nice work, guys. I think someone mentioned they did well the previous day, too. So that's two in a row for the Occupy family. Love to see it. Let's just hop into it. First game, Heat at Cavs. Is this slate late today? That is not the first game. I had it clicked over again. Don't want HB yelling at me. We'll do Clippers Pacers. Let's start with the Clippers side. So Kawhi's pulling a little bit of ownership over on FanDuel, a little bit on DraftKings. No one else is in double digits though. Models giving us Darius Garland as a strong value play, maybe a little bit under-owned over on FanDuel. I guess I'll throw out Derek Jones Jr. and Benedict Mathurin as tournament darts, but is there anyone you're really interested in here?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page. I think both Kawhi and Garland look pretty solid here. Very good matchup for these two. So prefer Kawhi if I am picking one, but like them both in tournaments.
Nice. Uh, any consideration to Brooke Lopez? He's actually showing up as a decent play on DraftKings at a 4,900 1% owned center.
Yeah, Brooke Lopez, man. I feel like I'm like the only person that doesn't like him here at Occupy. I don't know. I think he's fine. I do kind of like Jackson as a pivot for a little bit cheaper. So kind of neutral with Lopez tonight.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm getting a little bit of a Isaiah Jackson too, even over on FanDuel, which I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping that. We haven't projected for 17 minutes. It's not great, but 1%, I'm okay with 1 or 2% in my 150 lineups.
Yeah, I'm with it.
It is a revenge game for Mathurin. This is the first time he's played against the Pacers, and I feel like he does have a reason to kind of like want revenge because maybe they held him back a little bit. Some feelings towards Rick Carlisle. I don't know, maybe another reason to just bump him up another percent or two in your exposures.
I don't. It's a very good matchup.
Yeah, it's tough because Darius Garland's kind of since he started playing and starting now, just Benedict hasn't really had as much usage. So, but his price came back down to a point where I think we can take shots. On the Indiana side, though, a couple more guys over here are pulling double-digit ownership. We have Nemhard, Siakam, Jay Huff at 10% on FanDuel. He's only 4,600 there, though. Model's giving him a really strong value score. Are you pretty interested in? Start with those three guys.
Yeah, I think Siakam. Once again, I was probably way too bullish on him last time out. He did play the minutes though, even in kind of a wider game there with the Lakers. I think Siakam's great in tournaments again here, and then Nemhard as well played a bunch of minutes, pretty good score. So like Nemhard and Siakam, just a little. Jarris Walker, I did want to hear your thoughts on him. I'm not super high on him in the mid tier here. Would prefer Nemhard and Siakam, but what are your thoughts here with Indiana?
Jarris projected for 4%. I have 4%, so I'm like exactly with the field on him over on FanDuel. The model likes him a little bit better over on DraftKings, so I don't mind a couple more percent over there. He's under 6K at least. Obi Toppin, 14% on DraftKings at 3,400. Model's giving him a pretty great value score, though, so what do you think about that projected for 18 minutes?
Yeah, the minutes definitely scare me, but I don't hate it. Like he's a really good producer when he's out there. So with the model, I think I'm with him, man. I like it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get there over on FanDuel, but DraftKings, it's hard to ignore him. Power forward and center eligible. Power forward's what we really care about, though. We're not really playing him at center today. Anything else
Yeah.
here that you want to mention?
Not really. Aaron Neesmith, I mean, he's 4,900, but I feel like he's more out there for defensive purposes. Like he's gonna get stats, but I'm just like neutral on him as well.
So Clippers are 8.5 point favorites. This is actually a pretty high total considering it's the Clippers. Maybe they've been playing faster with Garland. I haven't been paying attention to it, but it's interesting. I don't think it's a game we want to completely ignore, but yeah, it's tough. Other than Siakam, Kawhi, maybe it's really just tournament shots. Obi on DraftKings.
Yeah, one more thought on this game. Would you, I don't know if you'd set a rule, but if you're playing like Kawhi, maybe run it back with some lineups with Siakam or Nimhard, just in case you just want that, I guess, correlation. I don't think
I
it's
don't
required.
I don't think it's required. I don't hate the idea of it. I'm a little bearish on Siakam today. I mean, I don't hate him. He's projected for 20% on FanDuel, but under 13 value on a 7-game slate is not one I want to be looking at when he's kind of chalky. And like you said, like he has a high, I don't know what word I'm looking for. He lets us down a lot. And so I'm not as excited about Siakam, but I wouldn't mind running it back with Nemhard, especially the 6,200 on DraftKings. We called it out last time. He was pretty cheap. He's the one who, what did he have, 18 assists against my Lakers or something?
Yeah, he had a bunch of
Um,
assists.
Nemhard, Nah, or Shepard, last man in on FanDuel. That's a tough one. Nemhard, Nah, or Shepard. Let's just take a quick look at the other teams real quick. Wait, Shepard? Oh, Houston and Atlanta. So on FanDuel, in order, the model is actually not really into any of them. Maybe rebuild if you can, but the model order would be Reed Shepard, Nah, and then Nemhard. They're all super close though, so if it's an ownership thing, ownership doesn't isn't too different. I mean, Nah's 1%, so he would be the super low owned guy, but model actually likes him more than Nemhard over on FanDuel at the exact same price. But 7% versus 1%, I don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'm with the model here as well. I agree.
Jayhawk Militia in the building. Yeah, he is. On a Friday, too?
Locked in.
Let's see. Hawks Celtics is the next game. What was that spread here? So we got Jalen Brown rolled out earlier. Boston's only 5.5 point favorites. It seems a little bit close to me, but I kind of get it. Jason Tatum's been underperforming. He finally did have a good game last time. The model is not into him today, and he's super chalk. How do you want to handle Jason Tatum?
Yeah, man, it seems like whatever I go with him, he does the opposite, at least recently. I think he's fine at the ownership. I do think he's over-owned just with the way he's been playing. So fine with him in tournaments. I don't love the ownership. I actually love the guards here, Derek White and Baylor Shireman. I think I pronounced that right. I think they both look great here at their prices. So fine with Tatum, probably prefer in cash games, but I love the guards here in tournaments. How about you?
I don't like Tatum. And the model says it doesn't like him either, so that's not just me saying it. Just 39%. I understand that Jalen Brown's out, but what are we hoping happens? I mean, yeah, the 53 would be nice. We would be very happy with this if we play Jason Tatum as chalk, 54, whatever. It feels like a lot. We have some other pay-ups that we'll talk about. I'm not saying I'm necessarily going to be under the field, but I don't feel great about it, even at FanDuel at this 8,700 price. Again, he's like the worst play on this team according to the model, so keep that in mind. Now that I said I'm not that interested in Jason Tatum, I am interested in Derek White, and 71 and 7,300 is a pretty good price for him. Jason Tatum's still not playing full minutes yet, and so maybe Derek White has a couple more minutes to run the floor. I'm okay with this chalk, and this is very model approved. Like, look at this OF index, 11 versus 10 for Tatum. Ownerships are similar, so we're not really I wouldn't really consider it a pivot, but I'm much more interested in Derek White than Tatum today as the main pay up on this team, I guess.
100% agreed. What are your thoughts on Pritchard here? Because I was kind of neutral. For lower on Tatum, both of us, I think Pritchard makes a lot of sense as well in tournaments. So, what are your thoughts here?
I like Pritchard too. Yeah, it's interesting that the model's not as high on him either. I don't know if we're projecting him to start though, because it's kind of interesting. I don't think we've seen Jalen Brown out yet since Tatum's returned, and but I mean, I got to think it's going to be very similar to the rotation we see when like when Jalen Brown's out, or I'm sorry, before Tatum came back. I would think that just slide Jason Tatum into Jalen Brown's role. You know, a few more minutes have to go elsewhere because Tatum can't play that many minutes. But I like Pritchard too. You mentioned Shireman, and he's kind of breaking the value on our model today. He is kind of chalk. Assuming he's starting, I gotta think we think he's starting at 29 projected minutes, but it's probably okay. 3,400 on DK at 37%. Obi would be the pivot, although they're different positions. 20% on FanDuel. I'm not quite at the 20%, so I'm probably just finding my value plays elsewhere, but I mean, very model approved too.
Yeah, I love Shireman. I think he's a pretty good DFS producer too. So, I'm with it with the model here.
Kada, 17 value score on both sites at around 10% ownership in this price. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to be over the field, not by too much, but he's definitely a guy I want to mix in too, especially I already mentioned I'm a little bit lower on Tatum. And then, did you mention Sam Hauser when you brought up Shireman?
I did not know. Do we think he starts over Pritchard?
I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
I don't know what the plan is. This isn't really a situation. I don't think we've seen it before. If we have, someone in the chat let me know, but yeah, I'm not sure. Whoever is starting, we're probably going to give a little preference to because they're just going to have more opportunity to hit their minute ceiling. But I think you'll have to break that down in the Discord. We're probably not going to. Oh no. Oh no, we're probably not going to have that starting lineup before the slate lock. So it's a little tough. Just pay attention to the starting lineup.
yep, 100%, 100%.
Other side of
Excuse me.
this game, Atlanta. We talked about Na a little bit, 1% flyer. I think he's fine at 7,100. I still like taking shots. No one here is standing out, though. Dyson Daniels is okay on DraftKings at 1% owned. Anyone you want to take tournament shots on?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can always get to Jalen in tournaments. I'd be fine taking a stab there. Outside of Jalen, I guess Boston's been kind of, middle of the pack against guards. So maybe a CJ McCollum could get there in a close game, but probably just those two as like super deep flyers.
This might be the first time all season I'm under the field on Jalen Johnson. I have 7% right now. He's projected for 8% ownership, so not terribly, but it's tough. Boston's a tough team. I found out Jalen Brown actually isn't that good at defense, so we shouldn't be looking at like Boston as an easier team tonight because Jalen Brown's out. I don't know. A couple tournament shots on Okongwu, Dyson Daniels, C.J. McCollum, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think is fine.
Yeah, these guys are all just kind of like, I guess, last minute type plays.
Hate him. Nice. Jayhawk, you like Arby's?
I don't like Harvey's.
Haven't
I haven't
tried.
ate there probably since the 2010s.
Dude, same. It's been like 10 years. So you don't think Hauser gets to start? It's tough. I don't know. This is the weirdest coach in NBA history, and so it's tough to want to predict what he does. But I mean, the way that we have the minutes lined up, because it could just be Tatum with these four guys and then Pritchard off the bench. I'd guess Pritchard is off the bench. Yeah?
I think so. Yeah, he's been coming off the bench a lot, so I think they probably roll with that. But again, make sure to see that starting lineup.
We'll go to more minutes for Okongwu. Landale out. Did we have that already in the model? Did that just happen right now? Oh, that just happened 1 minute ago. Yeah, that could be more minutes for Okongwu. Jayhawk, can you try to remind me to return to Atlanta in a few minutes and see how the model updated for that?
100%. Got you.
I tend to forget. So this next game, Miami and Cleveland, there were a couple guys I was looking at here. Norman Powell, I don't know, he's model approved, and this is one of the guys I tend to really like when he's model approved, even when he's chalk. This price seems good. Wiggins, I'm always interested in Wiggins at lowish ownership. I mean, these guys are just kind of all tournament plays too, I guess, except for Norman Powell. Was there anyone that stood out to you?
Yeah, you said it pretty good here. I think Norman Powell probably is the best point per dollar click here at this price. I kind of worry about the bigs here, both Ware and Bam. I don't really love the spot. So I guess you could take a stab at Bam, but it's mainly just here for each other.
Yeah, I'm even under the field on him. I'm under the field on this entire team. I'm not over on anybody. So I have exposure to basically everyone though, and we just got confirmation that Jaime Jaquez is in today. So I don't know. Him and Khalil Ware just hanging out down here. It's kind of hard to play either of them. Like Jaime, I think we would have more interest in with the team mostly healthy, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll go to Cleveland. Jarrett Allen. Is this his first game back?
I believe so, yeah.
I saw his points prop earlier. It wanted me to take over 12.5 points, and we're not really doing that. I didn't have a way to bet the under though. Remember, he was balling out when Harden came, but Mobley was out, so we'll have to see how they look with both of them on the court together. Model still likes Jarrett Allen. I'm not sure how much data it has on this situation with this team, like everyone healthy though. So we have to watch that. He's projected for 25 minutes at 6,400 on FanDuel at power forward. I think he's worth taking shots on at 2%. After him, again, I think it's just tournament plays all the way down. What do you think?
Yeah, just tournament plays here. I think, Chuck, I'm with you. I guess the guards would be my preference. Mitchell and Harden probably in a faster paced game here. So probably Mitchell is my favorite play. Kind of same thing with the Cleveland or the Miami side. I think the Cleveland spot kind of tougher as well. So for bigs, so it's mainly just the guards here.
Yeah, model's given a decent value rating to all three of these guys, so I think that any of them are fine to mix in. And when I say tournament plays, I don't know, I guess I mean a little bit risky guys. Like I don't really mind if they show up in a couple lineups, but I don't want them in a large portion of them.
Yeah, any interest in the value guys? Keon, Merrill. I wasn't really getting there.
Keon Ellis had, oh yeah, I was gonna say Keon Ellis shows up in my exposures every day. I have about 5% of him on FanDuel, so I'm over the field. That seems fine. I'm just not getting too much exposure to this team. Even that Jared Allen tournament play I called out, I'm only getting 4% of, so it's kind of tough. But James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, maybe they get a little bit forgotten, especially if we're playing a little less Tatum. Maybe we have a little more exposure to go to these two guys.
Yep, yep.
Let's see. 20-minute limit for Allen. All right, so the minutes we had are wrong. So don't pay attention to the model. I talk about this. If you think he only plays 20 minutes, then just reduce these numbers by 20%, and all of a sudden he's not even in play anymore. I'll have to update that in my exposures. But we'll go to this next game, Rockets Grizzlies. What's the ownership's looking at? Yeah, Reed Shepard at 6,100, 21% projected ownership. I think it seems fine. DK value is pretty good. Jabari is actually going to be the highest value on this team on both sites, though. I'm always interested in getting him, especially he's creeping closer back to that 6K at 11 and 12% ownership. What do you think about those two?
Yeah, I think they're both great plays, especially Reed Shepard here. Just a great price points, great matchup. So love Shepard, and I love Jabari Smith. I feel like both of us really like him when we can get to him. So yeah, love him here.
Ever since KD said those mean things about him, he's been pretty good. I thought he was playing well before that too, but he's been pretty consistent. Sengun, his teammates hate him. Did you see there were two plays in the last game? He got the game-winning block. He's literally dripping blood off his face, and not a single teammate came up to him to give him a high five or be like, "Hey, are you okay, man?" And then he got someone committed a flagrant on him right before that. No one came to check on him, so they hate him. But he did go off kind of recently. 8,900 is a decent price for him on DraftKings at 14%, and he's model approved. So uh, I guess him and then Amin and KD. What do you think about those three?
Yeah, this is kind of where I think it's tougher. I'm with you. If I had to pick between those three, it probably would be Sengun here. And then KD, like 9K seems like a pretty, steep price point for him. He has gone there before, but I think I'd rather get to Alman and Sengun here.
Yeah, Amin's price is getting a little bit like Sengun has this gap between the sites too. We're going to be more interested on DraftKings, but at least on FanDuel he does have the power forward eligibility, so it's not the worst. Amin though, 8,200 on DraftKings sounds a lot better than 9K on FanDuel. I think he's still a tournament play at 9K, but 8,200, it's a pretty great price, and this is a good value score for a guy that's as expensive as he is.
Yeah, especially for FanDuel Chuck, that stock upside with Alman's really good over there.
Let's go to Memphis. What? Did you have the injury report for Memphis pulled up?
Man, let me see here.
Just want
I
to make
don't.
sure. I'm gonna assume what's in the model is correct. I didn't see anybody even questionable earlier, so maybe
Yeah,
I missed it.
everyone's pretty much already out. Meshack was doubtful. That's the only big Q tag I think here.
Okay, nice. So Prosper with a crazy DraftKings value score. Same with GG Jackson. GG's pulling ownership. Prosper's not. That could be a possible pivot, although I think I agree with the field. We're going to be more interested in playing GG, especially he's back down to 5,400. I guess most of these guys are really just DraftKings plays. Cedric Howard, Walter Clayton, Javon Small. We can take some shots on FanDuel. I like that at 4,600, even at the 35% ownership. How do you feel about Memphis?
Yeah, definitely a tough spot here overall. I think I'm with you. I think the cheaper guards probably look the best here. In particular, love Small and FanDuel at that price. I think Cam Spencer, he's low on the model, super chalky on DraftKings. He's also, I think, pivot to Small, so probably one of the guards here I prefer. But what are your thoughts here overall? Do you have a favorite guard?
I'm playing a ton of Javon Small. Yeah, I see him as a guy who basically has a 20 fantasy point floor. Um, like minutes have been fine. We have him projected for 27 today. I think that's a pretty good projection, and like he's not in all my lineups, and so if he puts up 20, it's not going to kill those lineups, but I think he has the potential, for a ceiling, and we've seen it. So I'm pretty into that Javon small play. Model likes him. Model doesn't love him though. I would have expected this to be a little bit higher. 14 still really strong though.
Yeah, and then Walter Clayton. So I just have not been getting there recently. He just has not been shooting the ball very well. I guess he would be another pivot, but I would rather get to small.
Yeah, I mean, especially he's more expensive, so you're right. He definitely is a pivot. DraftKings he's cheaper, so maybe that's a little bit better. He's projected for some ownership over there. The 4,100 price for Clayton is just it's a lot different than 5,100, even though he has that shooting guard eligibility here. So model approved on DraftKings. I'm not getting there on FanDuel though at all.
Yeah.
And then this dude Tyler Burton. Let me just double check his game log recently. Model's not really into him. He's shown a ceiling. Minutes have been pretty strong. We have him for 22 today at 1 and 2% ownership. Considering a few of his teammates are pulling a little bit, I think he's deserving of a couple percent.
Yeah, I think 4K. He has flashed a 30-point fantasy upside, so I don't hate it.
Let's see. Smaller fears. We haven't got to the Pelicans yet. We haven't got to OKC. OKC? Caruso. Is OKC on the main slate?
Yes,
Are
I
they the
think.
next game?
Yeah. Yeah, they should be.
Nice. Let's start with OKC. So on DraftKings, Lou Dort's always going to show up at the top of value, but he should be 1% owned. I think it's okay if you have like 2 or 3% in the 150 set. The guy that we're really interested in talking about, though, AJ Mitchell, model's giving him a really strong score over on DraftKings at 4,500, and he's pretty good over on FanDuel, too. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I love him here, Chuck. I think the price point, both sides here, pretty solid and a great matchup to shoot good. So I'm with the ownership here. Love getting to AJ. I think after AJ is kind of where it gets unique. We have SGA up top. You can always get to Hartenstein in tournaments. I think it's tougher. What are your thoughts here with the rest of the team?
I like AJ Mitchell. I like Javon Small more, though.
That's fair.
It's different. It's like maybe AJ on DraftKings and Javon more on FanDuel because the prices are kind of reversed. But over on FanDuel specifically, yeah, we're getting some SGA and some Hartenstein, a little more Hartenstein than I kind of wanted, but the model really likes him today at 19% ownership. I mean, it feels heavy, and it probably honestly is, but he's a good play against Chicago. We have to keep in mind this 20-point spread. We have another 20-point spread we're going to get into with Denver, so that's a little scary.
Yeah, especially with his minutes. Like if he doesn't get his last stint for some reason, he's probably not going to pay off his price point.
Do you want to? Did you mention? Do you want to play either Jalen Williams?
It's tough with Hartenstein and it's tougher to get the J Dub. Probably not, but what are your thoughts there?
So this Jalen Williams, the more expensive one, 11% on FanDuel, 6,300. That seems fine. 7,500. I have no interest in playing on DraftKings, but very model approved over on FanDuel. Actually, the best play on FanDuel from this team. Jalen, Hartenstein, Lou Dort. SGA is a pretty good play to get to also at 10-3, 10-6, but I just worry about blowout, and once we're at this 19.5 point spread, we can start worrying about blowout. So I'm not quite with the field on SGA, but I do like him. He has the ability to get there in 3 quarters. He's done it 100 times.
Yeah, I think AJ probably can get there in 3 quarters at his price, so he's probably the safest, I think, overall for OKC.
I'm gonna throw AJ in the early DK dummy for now. I imagine he's gonna make it in there. What was the question here? Caruso or Hugo? Caruso revenge narrative. So like what I said about Benedict Matherin's revenge earlier, like he has a reason to want to get revenge on the Pacers. I don't think Caruso's upset with Chicago. They paid him. Like he won a championship. I'm sure he's thrilled to be in this position. And none of the players there were really there when he was there, right? So it's like now, as for playing him as a tournament play on DraftKings at 3,300, 3% owned, small. Why is he small forward, power forward? I mean, this is another pivot to Obi and whoever that other forward or guard, Baylor Shireman, I guess. But 13.9 is a pretty good DK value score. FanDuel is a little tougher, but he does get the 3 points for steal, so I could see it.
I don't hate it yet. 13.9 DK value, so I think you can sprinkle him in.
And if Hugo ends up in the starting lineup that we didn't predict at all, he's probably going to be a pretty awesome play at these prices because the ownership isn't going to get there since it's going to be after lock too. If he's not starting though, it's a little tougher for me. Got to side with the model and go with Pritchard or probably just Shireman, assuming he's starting.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned Hugo because he has had a couple games where he's randomly nuked. But I agree. I would only want to get there if he starts.
Which big benefits most with Chet out? Isaiah Hartenstein, but the problem is I don't think he can play more minutes, so it's just a matter of maybe his production is a little bit higher while he's out there. It's a wide range of outcomes, 8 or 53. I tend to lean towards this like 27, he's going to end up in this 27-34 range more times than not, but it's going to be Hartenstein. Against Chicago, it's not a bad matchup. Jalen Smith is out for the season for Chicago, so it's not like it's a tough matchup at all. Any other word on that? Maybe Jalen Williams gets a couple more minutes or something?
Yeah, Jalen Williams, a couple more minutes. I think Hardenstein's probably where I'd want to be though if I had to pick one.
Nice. Uh, Obi's in, Jaime's in, Naismith in. Okay, I think we got all these. So looking at the other side, Chicago, Jalen Smith out of the rotation. First players we're going to think of are probably Yabu and Nick Richards. Oh, okay, he's at the top of value. Not anyone standing out in the model, though. No one's really pulling ownership here. Is there something we can take advantage of with no Jalen Smith in the rotation?
I think it would be Richards here, Chuck. Like you mentioned, he probably benefits the most, but after him, like I don't really see anything that sticks out here. Yabusele probably gets a couple more minutes, but I'm almost playing guys I think that can play through blowout here. It's tough to play Giddy even in a revenge spot here. It's just not really a good spot. So yeah, it's a pretty tough team here to target.
It's just if they get blown out, none of them are getting there. You know. So I'm looking at the rotation last game. Jalen Smith played 6 minutes before he left. Why did Nick Richards only play 9?
Don't know.
They played Philadelphia. And so Josh Giddey played 32. Modest played 29. Yabusele played 22 off the bench. Leonard Miller played 20. Rob Dillingham 22. Patrick Williams. So basically everyone is going to play 20 minutes. Colin Sexton played 19. All of these should be 20 except for Modest and Giddey. It's tough. I'd be interested in still taking shots on Yabu, even though he's already 7% owned, and that actually feels a little bit high. But 4K on FanDuel, power forward eligible. Another pivot, I guess.
Yeah, I think one of the bigs would probably be my target, so I'd be fine with it as a sprinkle.
I feel like I'm interested in Leonard Miller. He's not going to show up in any projection model today, but 4,700 on DraftKings. I don't think I hate it, especially maybe we see a weird starting lineup since Jalen Smith is out. I missed who started the second half. I assume it was just Yabu, though.
I think it was Yabu, but
Okay. Yeah, Oh, they're both questionable, too. Okay. Yeah, Richards I figured was, so we'll have to see. If we get one or both of those guys out, Leonard Miller's the first guy we're looking at, and I kind of hope he flies under the radar because this is a spot where he could play through that blowout like you were just talking about.
yeah,
Patrick Williams would be up for a couple more minutes. Yeah, they just don't have any big men.
they're struggling, man. They got no depth there.
I mean, they don't care. They're getting whoever in the draft anyway. We'll do Pelicans. So yeah, Jeremiah Fears, 40% projected ownership. His price is pretty good though. There's no DeJounte today. Injury management. Does Fears start? I don't think he'd been starting in these spots. He comes off the bench. Like if I remember correctly, his typical rotation is he'll check in halfway through the first quarter, and then as long as he's not playing terrible, he just finishes the half. And then maybe the rotation is the same in the second half. So this 29 minutes projection is actually pretty good, even if he's coming off the bench. Do you like Fears? Are you getting there?
Yeah, love him here, Chuck. I'd probably put him like right beside Shireman as one of the top value guard plays on the slate. So love Fears here. Gonna try to be overweight here, even to this 37%. So love him. I think it's interesting for me here. Sadiq Bey, Zion, and then Derek Queen got a lot of run last night.
Yeah.
So What are your thoughts here? The rest of the team? Are we going back to Queen? What are your thoughts?
He got a few more minutes more than usual. They got blown out. I didn't see. I assume that some of these minutes came at the end. But yeah, at 4K, another one of these 4K power forwards that we just have to be interested in. What was his ownership? 20 and 12%. His ownership's already kind of getting there. I know he played well yesterday. Was there someone else out besides DeJounte, or it's just DeJounte?
I think it's just
Is
Dejounte.
Trey Murphy on this team?
Yes,
Is he not here? So Trey Murphy and
he must.
DeJounte are out. Yeah, it could be a couple minutes for him. Carlo Makovich was going to be the guy I was thinking of that could get a few more minutes. I think you guys mentioned him on the stream yesterday too. Really strong value scores projected for 21 minutes. I kind of like him at 5 and 4%. A little tougher on FanDuel because he's center only, but power forward on DraftKings is good.
Yeah, good pivot. I think one of those cheaper bigs probably gets here, whether it's Queen or Makovich. So I'm with it.
Yeah, I don't mind getting to a Zion and then Missy. I feel like he's been kind of a stud around our channel recently. Really strong value scores, only 5% owned. I mean, how many of our members has he won a tournament for this week? I think one. But the price is good, even though he's center only. I'm getting there on FanDuel. I'm getting to some Makovich too on FanDuel, even though he's center only. So a lot of exposure to this team. Sadiq Bey and Zion Williamson too. Not quite at this 36% on Sadiq on FanDuel though, but I think it's fine. 6,400 is a good price for him.
Yeah, I mean he's been shooting the ball a lot, so I'm with it. I like it.
Anything else to mention here? Herb Jones, I mean, he has a strong value score on DK at 4,500. I think that's fine at 13%.
Yeah, Herb, and then I was going to mention Jordan Poole. I don't even think I'm going to get there, but if you don't like Fears today, it's probably because Poole's nuking off the bench. So maybe you could take a 2% stab there if you don't like Fears.
I have Poole in 2 out of my 150, but that's a good call. Those are the kind of pivots we should be thinking about. Although with Poole, I think I would just play them alongside each other. I don't think I want to take Fears out to play Poole instead. I might. I might do it if I like get in there on one specific lineup or something, but I don't see Fears really losing his minutes. He's been pretty good.
You should be pretty superior.
There's a question about Fears. Smaller, Javon Smaller Fears? That's a tough question. I mean, the model is very strongly pointing towards Fears. And so we got to just go with the model on that one, yeah, on both sides.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm going to have a ton of lineups with both of them, though. Other side of this game, Toronto. I mean, it's just the big four all pulling ownership here. What do you want to do with this team, Jayog?
Yeah, so Toronto here, I feel like I'm kind of neutral. I think if I had to pick one, it would be RJ Barrett on FanDuel in particular. Like the price points. Ingram and Shed, I think they're both fine as stats here, sub 20%. A lot of these guys I do prefer on FanDuel, also super chalky over there. So that's probably how I'd rank it for those three. But what are your thoughts here?
Yep, I'm not feeling too differently. I am getting a ton of exposure to these guys, though. Hopefully, the combos are getting mixed up, including Jamal Shed too. Model really likes Shed on both sides again. I think the ownership's kind of low. I think we can get over. Just we have a lot of options in this range.
Yeah, Noah may move tonight with Pirtle back though. That's the big no.
Yeah, Pirtle. Model loves Pirtle. I'm not getting too much over on FanDuel, but another center. Yeah, we're really going to mix it up at center today.
Yeah,
I wanted to
nothing
see.
nothing really that like sticks out. We're gonna touch on Jokic, but outside of him, not a great center spot.
Okay. Jose, is Barnes a good pivot off of Tatum? Yeah, I think the model is pretty into it. That one too. That's a good call. Let's see. Barnes versus Tatum. Yeah, it's just Barnes all across the board, and then you get to the ownership, and it's like, oh man, it's less than half the ownership of Tatum. It's a pretty good play. It's probably the best direct pivot, similar price.
For sure.
Especially we're gonna get some exposure to New Orleans, so run it back with Scotty. Anything else you want to mention on Toronto? Did we already move on?
No, I think we broke it down good. I think it's a really good game to target.
Okay, nice. Oh, Andrew Wiggins or John Collins? We already talked about the Clippers, so let's get this one real quick. Miami. Andrew Wiggins or John Collins. Model says Andrew Wiggins pretty hard over on DraftKings, and then on FanDuel, it's still Wiggins, but it's a tad closer than it is over on the other site. And they're both so low owned. I'm not really looking at ownership to make the decision there. I would just go with the model.
Yeah, trust the model there for sure.
Shed or Nemhard, my boy, you better have the winner tonight.
I think it's well. I think they're both good in tournaments. Point per dollar probably Shed, but I like them both.
It's a little different of a price point,
Yeah.
6,200. They're both pretty good. Model loves Shed. So maybe on FanDuel, I would say Shed very clearly with that price difference. On DraftKings, it's still Shed, but Nemhard's not too far behind. Maybe if you have that extra salary, you can just click in Nemhard. But I don't know, 7% with Shed. It's an attractive ownership, but there's a lot of guys in this price range that are attractive today. So actually, I'm going to say Nemhard for DraftKings. So just his ceiling is a lot higher than Shed's, especially with almost everyone in for Toronto. We'll do Jazz Nuggets. Nice. We got to the last game on the slate. Jayhawk, what'd you say the total was? Team total for the Nuggets?
Yeah, whopping 134 team total tonight for the Nuggies.
Yeah, 19.5 spread, 249 total. Let's refresh and see if that moved by a point or two. There's going to be a lot of fantasy points scored in this game. The tough part is, you know, if Denver's up by a ton and they lose that last rotation, yeah, it's up to 20 now. If they lose that fourth quarter rotation, it's kind of a disaster, especially I would think for Jokic. I mean, he can't get there in 3 quarters, but I want to be really interested in Jamal Murray at 5 and 4%, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, even Cam Johnson. It's just tough because if they're up by 30 going into the fourth, none of these guys are going to touch the court again.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've seen everyone in, including Watson, on this Denver team. So in a while at least. So yeah, I think Jokic is great when he is out there. I think it's very interesting, right? If we play for the blowout and he doesn't get that fourth quarter stint, maybe his like true ceiling is gone. I still think he can get to value in 3 quarters, but I don't know if he can hit like a super ceiling. So I love Jokic and worried about that blowout. And then I did want to note maybe like Tim Hardaway, you could maybe take a stab 1%. Casey shoots good, but I think it's mainly just Jokic and Murray.
I want to see what kind of minutes Jokic has been playing recently, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but Jokic is like his value score for being the most expensive player on the slate is crazy. So he's mostly been playing high 30s minutes. We have him for what, 34.7. Just if he only plays 30 minutes, like, yeah, you can still put up 64 and a half. We might not need it today. I mean, we're not going to be upset about it, obviously, but yeah, it's a tough one. I didn't get as much Jokic as I expected to, but I also didn't bump up some of those lower owned value plays yet, so I'm expecting I'd get a little bit more Jokic after that. And then I mentioned Jamal. It's tough because we pointed out a lot of strong value in that 4 to 5K range at guard, but Jamal's ceiling is pretty great, and we have enough value to fit him in very easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jamal's the ideal pivot there for sure.
And I mean, these value scores across the board are so strong, especially on FanDuel. Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown at 5 and 9%. I think we're going to be playing a bunch of chalk, so these are like this whole team basically. Mostly these 4 guys. I just want to mix in. I'm a little bit nervous on Jokic and Jamal though. Just keep in mind, 20-point spread is very close to the largest spread of all time.
Yeah, and Denver did play him close last time out, but Utah also had Keontae and Filipowski in the game for that game, so I think it's a little bit different.
You messaged me during the last slate. You said I got Ace Bailey'd today. Like, yeah, I think half the field got Ace Bailey'd, but they're not going back. He's only projected for 3 and 1%. Jayhawk, are you going back to Ace Bailey today?
And some part of me tells me I should, but I'm currently not. 8K is a very stiff price point here. I feel like I'm going to anyone. Would kind of be the scrubs here. I don't know. Even then, it's like we got to pick out: is it Harkless? Is it Williams? It's so tough. And then like, who's the other guy's name? Ben. I can't even pronounce his name, but just so many guys on here that could get there in a blowout. So it's very difficult to me, man.
I don't hate it, Ace Bailey. I don't want a bunch, but I just told you guys how high I kind of am on this Denver team, so I'm hoping Utah keeps it close enough that those Denver guys get a fourth quarter. That doesn't necessarily mean the Utah guys get there, though, even if the game is close. So I don't mind taking shots only because he's 3-1% and he burned everybody last time out. I play Filipowski almost every time. It just the minutes are going to be capped, but he's such a good fantasy producer that I don't really care. The 6,400 price on FanDuel's better, and yeah, he hasn't been doing it recently, but I mean, what can Utah do? They can't win this game. Just run him out a few more minutes, get him experience against Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I know the Nuggets have been playing close, but I really don't see how this game isn't at least 15 points come the fourth quarter.
I'll say if you get zero exposure to this team, it's probably okay. Don't force it in. This is not a good team to target for fantasy today.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Kennedy Chandler still pulling 9% on DraftKings at 5,500. The FanDuel price is kind of high, but 5,500 for Kennedy Chandler, because he could play in the blowout. Him or Mbeng. Kennedy's been pretty good.
He's been good. Yeah, he gets all the blowout runs too, so I kind of like him in tournaments.
Yeah, that might be a spot that I'm interested in. Model's not going to be there, but we're going beyond the model on him. Projected for 27. It's probably a fair projection too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I gotta point out, my boy John Conchar, all of a sudden he's pulling 0% ownership. Didn't he just like put up 40
Yeah,
in
dude,
literally the last game?
I was watching the game. They were clearing out for Conchar. ISO ball. It was crazy.
You gotta be kidding me, dude. He put up 8 real points and he had 41 fantasy points. This is why we love playing guys like this, because they don't have to score real points to get there. Granted, a lot of these games are not very attractive fantasy scores, but I mean, 27 we'd be happy with. 41 we'd be really happy with. I don't know. I don't think he deserves a ton of ownership. Just 0% seems a little extreme for 4,400. Probably doesn't play the minutes he got last game, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go back there. Yeah.
Not to be funny, but Nuggets don't blow out a lot of folks. No, you're not wrong. Yeah,
No.
20.5 point spread. Let's see. Denver likes to play with its food. I don't know. I feel like they're trying. They do not want the game to be close. I feel like they would prefer for Jamal and Jokic to get that fourth quarter rest. They're just not very good. I don't know.
Their defense is horrible. I've watched it all year. I just saw this Utah team get whooped by the Wizards, though, man. So it's so tough to try to predict here.
Where does Pritchard compare to Shed and Nemhard? Let's lower this so we're not looking at the stud point guards. Nemhard will do like 7K. So point guards less than 7K on FanDuel. Shed is going to be the number one option. Well, Fears is the number one option, but of the guys that you listed, Shed, Javon Small looks really good. AJ Mitchell's fine. Pritchard, like, I guess there's just not that many, as many cheap point guards as I kind of thought there were, but we're interested in all these guys here, even Davion. I know we didn't touch on him much. I don't know. I mean, you see it right here. It's like these guys are higher than Pritchard. Where's Nemhard? Is Nemhard above 7,400? Nemhard, yeah, Nemhard's going to be below Pritchard too over on FanDuel. And then if we're looking at just DraftKings, it's still Fears, AJ Mitchell, Derek White. Wait, oh, I changed the slider. Yeah, Derek White's going to be a pretty good guard play too. We mentioned it. Shed is still above all those other guys, but it's a lot closer on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think value is really good on DraftKings for guard, good mid-tier plays, and then I feel like spend ups at point guard tonight or do we have SGA, but I think I prefer the spend down for the most part.
I think the model's telling us we can fade Pritchard. Like, he's projected for some pretty decent ownership at 6,200. This is a good price for him, but I don't know. It's saying we can get a little bit less. Oh, that's right, because Shiwei did not start the last game. That's why Conchar got that run. Conchar Chandler are the tank commanders for Utah, and dude, I mean, Kennedy Chandler's just got to be an all-time tank commander.
He is.
All right, Jayhawk, hit me with some guys for the dummy.
All right, let's do it. And then one other thing, were we going to go back to Atlanta? I don't know if we have time, but
Oh yeah, good idea. That's why they pay you the big bucks. Yeah, we'll see if it gave Okongwu a few more minutes for Jock Landale being out. Okongwu's still not really showing up that great, but we do have him up to 31. I think that's a couple more than before. At 6,900, I don't know, 1 and 4%. I don't hate it. I had a few percent already in my exposures. I imagine I'll get a couple percent more. Are you any more interested in anyone else here? Maybe Jalen Johnson or Kuminga?
Yeah, maybe I'm actually more on the Kongwu side. I think I'd prefer him the most without Lawndale, so maybe I'd bump him a little bit more here, but that's about it.
I think that's where I'm at too. I'd rather just bump a Kongwu a little bit rather than get to anyone else. But I guess I will say Kaminga is interesting. The field's not into him today, only projected for 22 minutes. And Gaie could be interesting, I suppose. 3,700, 4,100. We only have him projected for 10 minutes, though, and the model hates him at 10 minutes. If you gave him, I don't think we can give him 20. If you gave him 15 minutes, the model still kind of hates him, though, so it's tough. I don't think it changes much, Jock Landale being out.
Yeah. And then for the dummy, I think it's probably Fears for me, Chuck. Do you feel the
Yep,
same way?
yep, yep. Fears, first player in my dummy today. And then over on FanDuel, Small would make it immediately, but
Yeah.
not on DraftKings.
We both like Derek White. I think we can go him. Shireman super cheap.
Yeah, just go with the bottle on Shireman. It takes up all our guard spots is the only tough part. If we play Fears, AJ Mitchell. Did you want AJ Mitchell in there? I feel like we gotta play him.
Yeah, I think probably AJ. It's tough. Out of the Boston guards, who would you be least? I think probably Shireman would probably cut first over White, but it's
It's
close.
like I hate it when I go against like saying, yeah, let's cut the top value play on the model, and then he's gonna put up 28, and I'm just it feels terrible. But he's the guy to me that makes sense to cut out. 3,400 on DraftKings, it's tougher than FanDuel, but let's take him out for now, just because we do have
Okay.
other value. We don't need this 3,400. There's no pay-ups that we're like dying to fit in, right?
Yeah, I don't think there is. Yeah, I think.
Shed. I
Yeah,
mean,
Shed's good.
it's another guard, but we've had a lot of questions about him. We might have to like use him as a pivot between Fears and AJ Mitchell though.
Yeah, what do you want to do with center? Because we got Jokic as a spend up.
Taking Shed
Hart
out.
Hartenstein is in the mid tier. Do you have a preference?
Let's see. So DraftKings, let's just do the main slate. I mean, Missy and Kada are the two top plays. Prosper, Huff, Obi Toppin. I mean, of the guys that actually feel okay, Missy feels okay, Kada feels okay. I mentioned I don't hate taking shots on Makovich. Jokic being here is crazy. He's four times the price of Luka Garza, and he has zero point 0.1 less value score on DraftKings. Let's just
Yeah,
try it. People are going to want to try to play Jokic, so let's see how it looks when we fit him in there. I kind of want to slide Missy into the utility, though, at 4,100.
I like it.
Top center value. Leaves us almost 6K per position. You have any other guys for small forward, power forward, forward?
Man, I think this is kind of where it gets tougher. We mentioned Toppin earlier. We don't really need the value there. Small forward's really difficult today, man. I don't even know. Like, I'm looking through the plays.
Like Sam Hauser's fine. Gigi Jackson stands out a little bit, but his minutes seem kind of capped. I mean, Case on Wallace, I guess, is fine at 4,100. The guy that I would actually pick out from here is still Makovich or maybe Jabari Smith.
Yeah, I was going to mention Jabari. Since we're not getting to Shepard, he would make sense. I guess we forgot about Sengun too at center. He could be a really good GPP play.
I don't want to throw Sengun in here, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we're playing Sengun on DraftKings if we're playing him. He's a little more expensive on FanDuel. I didn't notice Derek Queen is up to 41% ownership. I think he's a fine play, but that feels like a lot.
Does he's not starting, is he?
Let's throw him in there. I don't know. He didn't start yesterday. We'll have to see. I don't think that changes today, though. He probably still comes off the bench, so we're assuming Derek Queen comes off the bench. Don't be surprised if you get that notification later.
I got a name for you, Chuck. We mentioned as a pivot to Tatum, Scotty Barnes.
Oh, there we go. Shout out to Jose, too, for throwing that out there. 4,600 for a small forward. Do we have one? Keon Ellis and Herb
Yeah,
Jones. Don't hate it.
that's okay. Yeah.
Conchar. Let's say we take Jokic out. What was your other pay up that you would want to get to?
Oh man. Um. Yeah, since we're not doing Sengun, it's like center's tougher. I don't know. Their SGA probably blows out. Mitchell would be in play in tournaments, but it's another guard. Kawhi, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough.
Kawhi is probably the one that makes the most sense, I think. Close-ish spread. What was it? 8.5 points. The one I want to click is Jamal, though.
Ooh, yeah.
Jamal. Then we can take Queen and Herb Jones out. Maybe like in the mid range, it's tough. Like we have some really good value. It just there's not a lot of pay ups we're super excited to pay up for. You know.
Yeah, it's tough.
I just want to fill this out before we log off. Any final words before we get out of here, Jayhawk?
No, I think it's a really good tournament slate, Chuck, especially if you have like a knack on that Nuggets game. If you think it's really close, then go in on Jokic. If you think it's going to blow out, maybe get to other spendos.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, Norman Powell. Hawkins feels sneaky over on the Pelicans. He got 22 minutes last game, and they hate Poole. Yeah, I like that call too. No one's going to be on him or project him for anything. Hawkins. Yeah, I mean he's a flat 3K. It's pretty high risk, but if I got a couple percent, I wouldn't hate it. All right, nice. Yeah, Jayhawk will start that Discord in a minute. Instructions to join it are in the description below. Good luck.